Peer pressure leads to risky behaviors. Hi buddies, we're going to talk about peer pressure, a theme inspired by the perks of being a wallflower. First of all, we'll introduce you to the characters of the story and their relationships. Then we'll explain what is normative influence, compliance, identification. We'll also give you some statistics, talk about an actual phenomenon, and end up with solutions. Why is peer pressure related to the perks of being a wallflower? Peer pressure is an influence in the group that encourages others to change their attitude, values, or behaviors to conform to group norms. We have identified these topics in the novel because the story is about transition between middle school and high school. At this age, teenagers are vulnerable and easily influenced because they would do anything to be liked and part of a group. Characters and relationships. Charlie is the main one. He is 15 years old, he enters high school, he's in love with Sam. Patrick is his best friend and introduced him to the gang. He dated Mary Elizabeth but gets frustrated about it. Sam is 17 years old, she's Craig's girlfriend and Patrick's stepsister. She is the first one who kissed Charlie. She gives him some advice about flirting. Patrick is also 17 years old. He had a secret relation with Brad until Brad's father caught them. He was part of the popular gang before Sam was part of his life. He explained things about girls to Charlie. Mary Elizabeth, Charlie dated Charlie. She didn't seem to care about him. She's a good friend of Sam. And then there's the rest of the gang. Normative influence. The normative influence is about conformity. You seek for your peer approval, you act to be conformed to the group norms to prevent conflicts and avoid being rejected in this group. I'll read you the first example. Can I have a cigarette? I said. I couldn't bring myself to say bum a smoke, not for my first one. When I lit it, I didn't cough. It actually felt soothing. I know that's bad in health, class way, but it was true. In this example, Charlie began smoking, even if he knows it's not good for him. He did it because he saw his friend do it, and they gave him a cigarette. Otherwise, he would not have done this. Compliance. It is about changing one's behavior due to the request of another person. It could be explicit or implicit, so the target doesn't necessarily knows he is. There are a few examples, but I will only read the first one. Sam climbed in the back of the pickup. She told Patrick to drive. Patrick started driving really fast, and just before we got the tunnel, Sam stood up. In this example, it is explicit. Sam encourages Patrick to take a dangerous driving that could lead them to heavy consequences for both. In the other example, Sam tells Charlie how to act with Mary Elizabeth. He did the way she told him because he liked her and trusted her, but he will be unhappy about this because it doesn't respect himself.
Now let's talk about the identification. This is the process by which a person becomes temporarily or permanently by equating a trait or attribute partial or total of another person. It is the formation of personality. Teenagers reproduce what they think is cool. When they are in a group, they tend to have this magical thinking to be invincible. We have, for example, the policeman found my pale blue and asleep. I didn't stop shivering from the cold until a long time after my mom and dad drove me home from the emergency room. And I keep my mouth shut because I didn't want Sam or Patrick or Bob or anyone to get in trouble. I went to the library and checked out a book because I was getting scared. The book said that sometimes people take LSD and they don't really get out of it. So this example showed that Charlie took some LSD at a party. And we have another example. Sam stood up next and she gave Bob a handcraft Native American marijuana pipe. So that means that she encouraged him. Now, the statistics. The Kaiser Foundation report that about 15% of teenagers 50%, of teenagers felt pressured with regard to sex in relationships. According to the National Household Survey on Drug Use and Health from the US Department of Health and Human Services, 74.3% of high school students have to tried alcohol. The Adolescent Substance Abuse Knowledge Base reports that uh, right around 30% if teens are offered drugs in middle school and high school. The vast majority of those teenagers who report that they smoke also said that they had three or more friends who smoked. Now, let's talk about an actual phenomenon. It's the neck nomination. This is a drinking game. You have to swallow a beer the faster you can while filming yourself. Your video has to be original and more crazy than the others. Then you have to nominate three friends who will have to do the same thing within 24 hours. In 2 months, 5 people are dead by doing this challenge. One of them wanted to impress his friends, so he filmed himself in a river and he died drowned. They don't want to seem weak or less cool than their friends. They want to prove they are able to do it as the others. Now we have some solutions. First of all, open lines of communication exists. So you can talk to your parents, teachers. There's some phone number you can call. You have to think of the consequences. Build self-esteem, respect yourself, choose friends wisely, and be prepared to say no and avoid situation that can bring you in bad thing. Thank you.